So I love Story of the World, but one thing that I don't like about it so much is that there's not a lot of pictures. There's some pictures, but they're in black and white and not pictures for every chapter or every story. So what I like to do is I like to get library books to help me illustrate the stories as I read them. And I wanted to show you a little bit of how I do that. So these are the two library books that I'm going to be using to illustrate a section of chapter 13. Ancient Egypt Revealed is a great book. It has these lift the flap pages, and it's just easier to show you them than explain them. Like, this is a page of a book, but it's got this plastic sheet here. You lift it up and you can see more about the boat, like it's a cutaway. So they have several pages in the book. It's not every page, but this one works particularly well for chapter 13. And this one is a favorite series of mine, mostly for the crafts, but it also has some good illustrations, so I'm going to be using it today. That's the Ancient Egypt Make It Work books by World Book Encyclopedia. So you'll notice these tabs that I have here on the edge of the book. They're just dollar store Post-it notes. You can get them just about anywhere. And so they correspond to different places in the chapter that I want to illustrate with my library books. You'll notice I have these tabs on my library books too. It's so, you know, the yellow tab here, that's when I'm going to use this page here. So I like to lay out my books so that it's easy to get to. Open it to the first page I want to use. This is the second page I want to use. It's opened underneath. And then the third one is this tab right here. So now I'm going to read the section of the story just like I would to my child. Starting at my first tab over here. Carefully, Carter cut a hole in the door. He held up a light to the door. At first, all he could see was darkness. He moved his light from side to side. Suddenly, a beautiful golden gleam sprang out from the darkness. The room was full of gold. You can see just a little bit of the gold peeking out there. Carter's friends were pressing in behind him. "What do you see?" one of them asked. "Can you see anything?" "Yes," Howard Carter said. "Wonderful things." The workmen slowly pried the door open. In front of them was a room filled with treasures. King Tut's throne, golden statues of the young king, game boards inlaid with ivory and jewelry, rings, necklaces, jars, jewel-encrusted chests, figures of the gods and goddesses. All of these were crowded into King Tut's tomb. Howard Carter and his friends kept on exploring. They found a whole series of rooms, linked together by hallways. Each room held more treasures. Finally, they came to the last locked door. Carter opened it carefully. Inside he found the body of the young king, Tutankhamun himself. At first, all Carter saw was a huge golden box. Then he realized that the box opened at the top. Inside this golden box, he found a heavy stone chest. Inside the stone chest, he found a golden statue of the king lying on its back. As soon as he touched the statue, he knew that it was actually a wooden coffin, carved to look like the king and then coated with gold. He pried the coffin open, expecting to see Tut's body. Instead, he found another wooden coffin covered with gold. And here you can see some of the coffins And Howard Carter, this is a picture of him from the time, looking at the layers of coffins that King Tut had. When he opened this coffin, he found yet another coffin, this one solid gold, through and through. Now, carefully, he opened this final coffin. There was Tutankhamun's mummified body, wrapped in linen and soaked with spices. And here you can see what he would have seen. You can see the gold coffin on the outer edge, the final gold coffin that he opened. This is a mask of Tutankhamun that was inside the coffin, placed on top of Tutankhamun's body. And they've cut out a piece so you can see a little bit through, and you can see the body wrapped in linen, just like he would have seen. This body was so preserved that when they unwrapped it, you could even see the dead king's face. And there you go. That's Tutankhamun right there.